Hello, this is how to create linked sections in class. Linked sections are a class that has multiple components and students are required to take both components. We can see as an example, this History 1025, section 100. We can see this is a linked section because of this bracket that's here on the left-hand side. So sections 101 through 108, these recitation sections are linked to section 100 because of that bracket, we can tell. So today we're going to create a new linking. So we're going to start with creating the enrollment section first. So in this case, it's going to be the lecture. So we'll start off by creating a new section. From here, you'll want to make sure to change your section number to whatever you need it to be. Since this will be a new grouping, we'll start off with section 200. We're going to fill out all the rest of the fields normally as you would. In this case, it's going to be in person. The component type, we have either the option to select lecture or recitation. We do want to create the lecture first. So for this case, we're going to leave the component as lecture. For the link to field, you can actually leave that as is in this case. Just fill out the rest of your fields as you need. So we'll add a meeting pattern, fill out our enrollment maximum, and once all those fields are correct and you have everything filled out for this section, you can hit Save Section. And so now you can see that this section 200 is not linked to our other grouping. It's a standalone section right now. Now we're going to create our recitations and link them to our lecture. So we'll go ahead and create a new section. And once again, we'll change our section number to follow whatever section numbering we need. And then it's the biggest thing there are two main important things to remember when linking. First thing is make sure to change your component. So we already have our lecture created, so we need to change this section to recitation. So when we click on the arrow, we'll get a drop down, and then from that you can select whichever component you need. In this case, we want to create the recitation. We can fill out the rest of the fields as we need. So we'll say this one also meets in person. Maybe this one meets on Tuesdays. And only need 10 students for the enrollment cap. Before we hit Save Section, now we need to link our recitation to that lecture we created. And we can do that in the Link To section here. When we click on this, we'll get a drop-down screen with a couple different options here. So our first option, which is New Group Lecture 1, it's asking if we want to link it to Lecture 1 here, section number 1. We don't want to do that. The second option we have is to link it to Lecture Section 100, which is this grouping here, but we don't want to do that either. And then our third option is New Group Lecture 200, and that is the one we do want to link it to. So you'll select whichever section number you want to link it to. You'll select that from the drop-down. Once you have that selected, all your other fields are created as you need. You can hit Save Section. We do get a workflow, but that's okay. In this case, we are working in design mode, so this will come to academic scheduling when we submit our entire schedule. So you can hit Save As. And so now you can see we do have a new linking. We have 200 and 201. And we'll follow the same steps for any additional sections that we need to create. So maybe we need 2 recitations that are linked to that lecture. So change the component to recitation, fill out the rest of the fields, meets Wednesday, and then in our link to, we'll select 200 and 201. That's the group that we want to select. We'll hit Save Section. That's okay, save as is. And so now we've got our 2 recitations and they are linked to our lecture. One important thing to note is once you have a standalone section, so in this case, you can see section 1 is a lecture. It's not linked to anything else. If we were to create a recitation, so say we were to create section 2, kept it as a recitation, but didn't link it to anything and hit Save As Is, we wouldn't be able to re-link this. So once you have created a section, you can't go back into that section and link it to something else. You need to link the sections when you create them. So in this case, when you create your recitation, that is when you need to link it to whatever section you're linking it to. And I'll go ahead and delete that. But you'll just follow those steps for any kind of linking that you need to do. You'll just create the section and then just remember to change the component and use the link to field to link your sections. And that's how to create linked sections.